Hey guys, it's Joe, and this is a Pocket with Joe for Thursday, May 31st, 2022. Now, we've got a great game on the board today as round three starts between the Colorado Avalanche and the Edmonton Oilers. Before we jump into that, we have to talk about what happened yesterday. Wow, what a phenomenal game for the New York Rangers, coming out and getting a 6-2 win over the Colorado Avalanche, something no one thought they could do. Pulling off that series, we were able to get the reverse puck line on the New York Rangers in that first period. I hope you checked out the show. It majorly paid off. It was plus 229. 225, 229 ish, depending where you got it. I saw people getting it at 229. I got it at plus a 225. Now, phenomenal game out of the Rangers. They just came to play. Igor Shesterkin absolutely did exactly what we thought he would do. He stood on his head. He got his goalie prop over 31 and a half, saved shots on goal, having an absolutely phenomenal night. Now, for the Carolina Hurricanes, they spent too much time, one, in the penalty box. First goal scored by the New York Rangers was on a power play. They played the game New York wanted them to. They came out, they made the mistakes. They ended up in the penalty box, allowing the New York Rangers to get up in that game. So 6-2 win. We will see the New York Rangers move forward, advancing to the next round. They will play the Tampa Bay Lightning tomorrow night. This is going to be a phenomenal series. We have goalie against goalie with Vasilevsky coming in for the Tampa Bay Lightning versus Igor Shesterkin for the Rangers. Rangers will host the first game. And you guys, if I'm looking at it right now, I got to put money on the Rangers to roll with momentum. Tampa, though, is definitely rested and ready for this matchup. You guys, we're going to jump into tonight's game. Let's look at the comment just here. Are the books overestimating the firepower of tonight's team total with 7? Absolutely not. David, I was shocked we didn't have a 7.5 in this game tonight. We look at this matchup, we look at what both offenses can do. Still, so many question marks around Mike Smith. The first game with Calgary, we saw those goals rain in. He was pulled after that third goal. I could see something like that happening again tonight. We've got to look at Edmonton not playing the strength of Colorado. With Calgary really shot themselves in the foot. They didn't play up to expectations. And I really do think this is going to be a high scoring game. So I have no problem riding the over in tonight's game. It did start at 6.5 up to that 7. We have the Oilers coming in here at plus 150. The Colorado Avalanche at minus 180 on the money line. With that total at 7, you guys, it's going to be an absolutely phenomenal game. Now, Mike Smith has played better. So here is the concern. We look at Mike Smith. He stopped 381 shots on goal. Of 411. So he's been playing phenomenal. His saved goals against in the playoffs here is 92% saved with that 2.7 goals allowed on average in the playoffs. He is playing so much better than the regular season, which in the regular season, we've seen him allow over that. So Darcy Kemper on the other side, I love what I see out of Darcy Kemper, but he has allowed more goals than expected. And he's allowed some soft goals in here. But in the playoffs here, he's sitting at that 2.44 goals against average. I just think there is a little bit of risk with Kemper. So for the Avs to be able to win this, they have to get these goals. And I think the only way to look at this is a high-scoring game. Both teams are firing on both cylinders. They're completely hot offensively at the moment. Now, a couple ways I'm going to look at betting this game tonight, because I do expect this to be like a 4-3 style game, which hits us right on that 7. I could see it being 4-4 going to overtime. So I'm not going to touch the total for the full game. I couldn't bet it under, though. So that being said, it's over or nothing, but I don't love taking this one over especially if we have, the first period where both teams are really testing out the water against each other and we don't see those goals coming in. Do I think that happens? Probably not. I probably think we easily cruise over this. I'm going to look at team totals for both of these teams. Now, the Colorado Avalanche come in here with a team total of 3.5. I've got to ride that over. I really do believe in the Avs here to come in strong. So their team total over 3.5 is -134. Now, if you like Edmonton tonight, their team total is only 2.5. You're paying higher juice at -156. I wouldn't take this as a standalone bet, but we can see, and I think count on Edmonton getting 3 goals in this one tonight. So whichever way you want to take that, that gets us that 4-3 win here. And I do think it's a 4-3 win for the Colorado Avalanche. So taking them in regulation is another way. Don't love it in regulation. I could see this being 3-3 going into OT, but I'm not wanting to bet that OT. It's going to be a fantastic game. And I think we're going to see a solid performance out of both teams. I think the best way to take this is that team total of the Colorado Avalanche over 3.5. Now, if I'm looking to take a side, it has to be Colorado, and more than likely in OT. So I can't take in regulation. But you guys, this is going to be phenomenal. There's some great prop bets you can take in this one as well. Now, Draisaitl for the Edmonton Oilers, his points tonight, you can get over 1.5 at +145. Can definitely see that hitting nicely. He's been able to hit this in 5 of his last 5 games. And then Hyman as well for the Edmonton Oilers. He's been playing phenomenally. His points over 0.5. So this is a little bit safer way to go. Is -136 tonight. I was looking at some prop bets for the Colorado Avs, and they're so highly juiced tonight. I wanted to prop bet Cale Makar. I think he's in for a phenomenal night. I can't get any value there. I do think it is worth a sprinkle between Connor McDavid and Nathan MacKinnon for that first goal scorer. Now, both of them to score the first goal is paying you plus 1,050. Now, both of these guys in their last 5 games have each once scored that first goal. I would take, a little bit, just a tiny sprinkle on both. Even if you put $10 on both of them to score the first goal, one will count out the other, of course, but $20 and it's plus 1,050 if one of these guys hits. So it's a long shot for sure. You guys don't put your house on it or anything, but I could see one of these two getting that first goal. I really do think we are in for a series where this is all about an offensive game, and these two are going to battle it out. Now, who do I think is a better player between these two? Good question. I have a little bit of not love for the Edmonton Oilers, so I do lean to Nathan MacKinnon. I think he has a longer presence of being just such a top skill player. I know Connor McDavid has been absolutely phenomenal in the last couple of years, and Nathan MacKinnon hasn't been around that much longer, but I look at Nathan MacKinnon and I just think he's always been that player on the ice that you just look at in awe when he skates up and down. So you guys, that's it for Puck of Joe. Really short. If we're looking at the series as a whole, I'm looking for the Avs to take this in 6. I think Edmonton goes deep into this, but I can't trust on the Edmonton Oilers when we look at them over the season. I really do expect Colorado to come out stronger and deeper here, especially in the playoffs. They averaged 3.79 goals per game in the regular season and 35.1 shots on goal. Now, they were only allowing 2.83 and 32 shots on goal. Well, we see the Edmonton Oilers, they did have that defensive issues and goaltending issues, which, yes, Mike Smith has played phenomenal, except for a couple of games here in the playoffs. But can he keep it up? And that's my biggest question mark for the Edmonton Oilers right now. We know offensively they are firing. Defensively, can they keep it together? They allow 32.3 shots on goal on the season, including overtime, and that 3.06 goals per game. I just don't know if they have what it takes on both sides of the puck. Now, there's going to be puck luck in all of these games. I do think they win a couple, but for me, this is the Colorado Avalanche series in 6. Give me 4 wins for them, 2 for Edmonton, and this one not to go to game 7. It's going to be phenomenal, you guys. But let's just recap my best bets for tonight. I've got to take the Colorado Avalanche's team total over 3.5. I truly expect them to get 4 goals on Mike Smith tonight. I think how they come out strong offensively will be a difference here. Now, I'm also leaning to that over, not going to bet it. If I had to take a side, it'd have to be Colorado in regulation. It's a little scary because Edmonton could keep this one tight. But I think for prop bets, you look at Leon Draisaitl. For points over 1.5 at plus 145, you also look at Zach Hyman for points over 0.5 at minus 136. Now, like I said, I wanted to prop bet Cale Makar tonight, but there is no value in a lot of the Avs players' props tonight. I would also sprinkle on Connor McDavid and Nathan MacKinnon, both for the first goal scorer. I know it offsets each other, but at plus 1,050 for both, I think this will be a game where everyone is talking about these two players, just like they were looking at when we saw this matchup. Is going to be absolutely phenomenal. It's going to be a fantastic game. Make sure you have a drink and are on the couch watching this one tonight. You don't want to miss it, you guys. But all the best in all of your bets. Keep smiling. Join me tomorrow for another Pocket with Joe. We'll be talking the Rangers and the Tampa Bay Lightning game. You guys have a fantastic day. Let's make some freaking